Great. So just before we begin, I'm just going to ask you to on your cameras, please, so that we can see each other faces, if that's okay. Can you all switch on your cameras, please? And it'll be great to be interacting, even though we are sitting, you are joining from different parts of the world. Let's stay connected on Zoom at least. Great. It'll be wonderful to see your beautiful faces. Yes, Sangeeta, Prakash, Pippa, Reena, requesting everybody to switch on the cameras. Sheila, hello. Sangeeta, if you could do that, that'll be wonderful. Great, great, wonderful. Thanks, Sangeeta. Thank you, Reena. Good morning. Right, so welcome to Virtue Cafe. I hope everyone's got some sort of, I've got my, well, it looks like a coffee mug, but it's just plain water. do you all have something with you? Water, juice, smoothie? I'm sure Dan has something with him, some exotic smoothie. Right, great. So welcome to Virtue Cafe. So Virtue Cafe is organized by Raj Yoga Center in Dubai, Raj Yoga Center, along with the meditation space as well. So what is the Virtue Cafe? Virtue Cafe is a program by the youth for the youth. We meet once a month, mainly to explore, exchange, and express virtues, the values that's there within all of us. You know, the virtues of love, peace, happiness, bliss, care, everything that's there within us, which probably is not in a very expressive state. We probably don't know that they're there within us. And what we are trying to do here is meet once a month and try and help each other explore these virtues. And how do we do that? We do that through interactions. We do that through fun games. We have some phenomenal speakers who join us from different parts of the world each time. And it's going to be a fun 1.5 hours. So we also have Dan, who's joining us from Australia. Hello, Dan. We'll be speaking to Dan shortly. Right, so we have about, great. So we have about 11 participants now, and many more are joining. So what we can do right away is, let me just quickly, yeah. And if you can all, let's start the session with a small icebreaker, an activity to really loosen ourselves up, free, and let's get familiar with each other. Can you switch on your cameras and put the whole thing on gallery mode, if you know what that is? Like you need to be seeing everyone's picture, like square boxes. Yeah. Hey Piyush, hey Murtuza, if you can on your cameras. We're just going to get into a quick activity here.
Do you mind if I can stay off camera? I'm not in a position to share my screen right now. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.
But I'm interested to stay online, so please allow me.
Please. Yeah,
Thank
not
you.
a problem at all. Yes. So this, whoever can switch their cameras on, because this activity would require you to switch your cameras on. So please try to do that. So a quick icebreaker now. Okay, let's get into it. So what's the game? It's pass the love. So I've got this imaginary ball with me, all right? This ball of love. So what is this ball exactly? Nothing but something good about the person sitting next to me. It could be somebody on my left, somebody on my right, up or down, you know. For example, let me do this, okay? So I can see Satish next to my box, and I have this ball with me, and this ball is something that's about Satish. Satish, so since I know you, Satish, I know that you are a meticulous planner. Some good quality that I'm going to think about you and say, you know, Satish, you are a meticulous planner, and you are a very kind-hearted person. So one or two sentences about a person that is next to you. You may know this person, you may not also know. So you could think of something good for that person, you know. So since I know Satish, you're a meticulous planner and you're a very kind-hearted person. And this is the ball of love that I'm going to give it to you. Can you catch it from me? Satish, I'm passing it on to you. All right. Now, since you have got this something from me, this ball of love from me, can you do that same to the person next to you, down, below, left, or right? Quickly, come on.
Yeah. First of all, thank you, Krishna, for that kind words, and I appreciate that you made me to recognize that. Okay, so next to me, I can see Dan, who is joined from Australia all the way from. So I know him also for some time. Dan, he is very light in terms of his nature, and also I could see that a lot of love he expressed through his presence. So I appreciate that the lightness and loving nature of Dan, and I'm passing this ball to Dan.
Great. So I'm sorry to interrupt. You know, if we can do this quickly, because if you remember that game that we used to play, passing the ball around. So it needs to be very quick, and something needs to come in the mind very quickly. All right. Dan, I'm sorry. I think there's some problem. We can't hear you. Your voice is breaking. Yeah. No problem. So
want to check with the headphone.
I think it's his network probably.
Maybe the headphones, you know, if you can, yeah. While we come back to you, Satish, can you pass the ball to somebody else? We can come back to Dan quickly. Or Prakash, do you want to continue quickly from there?
Yeah, so I see Madeline. Madeline is there next to me, and I'd like to say that Madeline is somebody who's absolutely committed, one of the most committed people I've seen.
Wonderful.
Oh, so that's the ball to Madeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prakash. I got it. Okay. This is a big, heavy ball, and now it's coming light. I'm gonna pass it on to who's there? Oh, it's Piyush. Hi, Piyush. Can you please take the ball? Piyush is very ever ready and such a good soul who's always accommodating and always ready to help others. Here you go, Piyush.
Thanks, Madeline. So I'll give you some love, first of all. And for me, I can see someone who I don't know next to me is Reena. So, Reena, I don't know you much, but I would just say that since it's nurturing self-love today and it's a month of love, so I would just say you're a loving being and spread the love. And here's some love from me to you.
Thank you, Piyush. Okay, this is my second session. I don't know anyone. I can see Miss Sangeeta. So I would like to say you are very peaceful. You look a very peaceful soul, and I convey my peace and love to you. Here
Wonderful,
it is.
wonderful. Very good.
Thank you, Reena. Thank you for your kind comments and compliments. Next to me is Sheila, and I don't know Sheila, but I think you're a very interesting person and you're very loving. So this love goes to you.
All right, Sheila, I don't know if you're with us, Sheila. Can you hear us? Do you want to share something quickly? No problem. You know, I'm just going to take that ball and pass it on to Murtaza. Murtaza, I hope you're with us and you can listen to us very clearly. Murtaza, since you're my colleague, I'm just going to give this ball to you and say this, that you're one of the most intelligent persons that I've met in my life. So here's the ball.
Thank you, Krishna. Thank you very much for those kind words. Now, since the ball is with you, I'd like to share this ball with Deepa. I don't know him or her, but I believe that all good that I see in me would also be in him.
Wonderful, wonderful, absolutely. Great, great. That's nice. Pippa, let's hear from you.
I didn't hear much what Murtaza said, but thank you for the love ball. And I'd like to pass it to Dan since he missed it in the first time. And I'd like to tell, like, I'm looking very much forward to whatever you're going to share with us today. And all the love to you.
Great. Thanks, Pippa. Got it. You know, and passed from all the way to Dubai, dropped down to Australia, right? So it's like fantastic. So next to me, and who hasn't, I have to find someone who hasn't had, which should just be Mohammed. Only Mohammed left.
Yes, yes.
Welcome, Mohammed. You've missed the start, but I'm passing you a love ball. And you know, Mohammed's a great name, and you must be a loving soul that you're interested to come for this Virtue Cafe. So I'm having to throw it because you're like 3 squares below me on Zoom. So hopefully you got it.
Yeah. Hello, Mohammed. Do you want to quickly share something? Great, no problem. So I hope you guys are with us and listening, and I would love to see all your faces on, because this is going to be much nicer if you can see each other. It's a humble request. It's going to be fun. This is like a family. Let's do this together. And so let's imagine that I've got the ball back. Thank you, guys. It was wonderful. And let's get into the session now. I'm going to quickly share the screen again. So today's topic, as you all know, is nurturing self-love. So I have a question for you. Okay, guys, this is a very interactive session, so please feel free to ask me questions, to share your thoughts and respond. Let's make it fun. So my question is, what is self-love? Anyone in the audience want to answer this? Feel free.
I would say self-love is putting yourself first. And it's not being selfish, it's being appreciating yourself, filling your cup first before filling the rest of the cups. You know what they're saying in the announcement in the airplane? Just attend yourself first with the oxygen before attending the one next to you. So if you're not having enough care to yourself and enough appreciation to your self, love, heart, work, everything, I don't think you will have enough to give the rest of the world.
Wonderful. Absolutely. That's a very nice point. Filling your cup first before actually going on and helping somebody else. Perfect. I would like to hear from somebody else as well, your thoughts. Yeah, don't worry about the answer. We're just trying to understand your, understanding of what self-love is, what it means to you.
It's a very hard question, by the way. It's not an easy one.
I know. Yes. So we are just trying to gather some thoughts here.
It takes a lot of reflection.
Yeah. Madeline, I see you raising your hand. Want to give it a shot?
Self-love, the first thing is knowing what I need and what I am, who I am. So, and also from that, I look after myself very well. So the first thing that comes to mind is caring for the self.
Caring for the self. Yeah. Caring for the self. Yes. How about somebody else? Piyush, Prakash, Sangeeta, anybody?
Yeah, for me, I think self-love is, just slowing down on a Friday and loving myself and going for a nice swim. So I've started this since a couple of weeks on a Friday to do in my building, and I just love myself, being with myself in that pool, So that is for me self-love.
Wonderful. So swimming pool is self-love. Going for a swim. That's nice. Great. Yeah, I totally understand. So we have something in common, like putting, ourselves first, in the sense our true selves. So let's see, this is something that I believe is self-love. Again, it's a huge topic, but somewhere I think, loving and accepting yourself. We all, none of us are perfect, right? We all have a lot of good qualities. Some shortcomings as well. So self-love is not really, turning a blind eye towards the negative qualities that you have, towards your weaknesses, but uh, understanding that I'm not perfect. I do have certain negative qualities, but you know what? More than that, I've got some awesome, beautiful, very nice, positive qualities as well. So why not really focus on them? There's this beautiful saying that I always love, which goes somewhat like this: where attention goes, energy flows, and where energy flows, life grows. You know, I heard this long back, but it just stuck with me. I'm just going to say that again: where attention goes, energy flows. And where energy flows, life grows. So where do you want to really put your attention? Do you want to really focus on the negativities that without a doubt that we all have, or do you want to see the positive things? Like, for example, I'm just going to quickly grab a book here. I'm sure many of you already know this, but see, this is a blank page. Of course, they have lines, but other than that, just imagine this is a full blank page, and I'm going to do something here. Can you all see this? Can you all see this? What can you see here? Some quick answers over here. What can you see here?
It's not really that visible.
It's not, okay, I'm just going to bring it close.
It's a dot.
Can you stop sharing the screen? Then I think.
Oh, sure. Great.
It's a tiny, teeny dot.
It's a tiny, teeny dot. Okay. Somebody else?
I see the white portion.
Oh, nice. That's also true. Anybody else? Great. You know what? Somebody just said it's a tiny dot. That's true. But somebody also saw the full white paper that had so much of white space left, right? So what are we really focusing on? The small negative aspects in our life, or are we missing out on the bigger picture? So again, remember this: where my attention goes, energy flows, life grows. So I'm going to bring back the PPT again. And yeah. So here's a statement, all right? Our original nature, inherent, intrinsic nature is love. Do you agree? We all, irrespective of who we are, from which part of the world we are, what kind of ethnicity we belong to, what kind of education we have, whatever we may do, we all are in some way very similar in the sense that we all have love, peace, harmony, bliss, happiness, joy, all of that common within us. So is this statement, what do you think about this statement? Our original nature is love. Any comments on this? Everybody. It could be the the strictest, the meanest, the baddest person that you might have met. But again, I'm telling you, everyone, including those people, their original nature is love. Can we have some thoughts here?
You
Let's
know,
make this.
it's hard sometimes to articulate it. You know it deep down there that we are, the core of our creation is love. We know that we are coming out of, we were conceived in love moment. We were coming, whoever we are worshiping, if we think that there is a higher supreme power, it's all about love, that it loves us to bring us here as souls. If we see any, like, there is always a power of contrast in the world, duality in a way or another. There is always like greed, but there is on the other side, there is a giving and honesty on earth. If there is hate, there is love. If there is black, there is white. There is always love within us. But the same way you mentioned earlier, it's all about the perception, the way you would like to, or the way you choose to look things. I saw it a dot and someone else saw it an ocean of whiteness and purity. So it's a matter of the way we articulate it. It's of course there is love, but the thing is the way we choose to put our attention to it, we don't really focus on that kind of love. We are very drowned in a daily routine that we don't really see the love within everything.
Absolutely, wonderfully said, Pepa. Beautiful. Um, you know, uh, it's a wonder, right? We never seek for being stressful. We never go around looking for stress, go around looking for being angry, being scared. Have you ever done that? What do we actually seek for? What do we look around for? We look around for happiness, right? We look around to be at peace with ourselves, at peace with others, right? Don't you think so? Why don't you, like, we say sometimes that, being angry, I manage about 50 people in my office and I need to be a little angry. But at the same time, sometimes, you just burst out at somebody, you lose your cool. And after a while, you just go to them and say, hey, you know what? Um, I shouldn't have done that. At that point of time, I just lost control. I'm so sorry. I feel really bad. If you notice what he said, I lost control. I believe that being angry is a weakness because you lose yourself there. You lose control there, and you feel sorry about it later. Uh, let's take this hypothetical question. Suppose I'm a genie, okay, with all powers, and I'm going to offer you something. Anybody, I'm going to offer you 1 whole year of continuous stress and anger. Who wants that? Some believe that, stress is, a little bit of stress is required. That's why I'm just putting this stress into it. 1 whole year of stress, non-stop, continuous. Who wants it? Anybody? Any takers? Or anger? Or fear? Okay, that may be a little too much, Let's bring that down. How about 1 month, 1 full month of being stressed, being angry? I'm a
In
genie.
return of what?
Well, it's a wish. I'm giving it free for you. I'm telling you can be, say, like a dictator and be angry and rule over the world. I'm just going to give that. And only anger is going to take you through 1 full month.
No, thank you. Not interested.
Okay, let me bring that down. How about 1 week, or say 1 day, 24 hours, continuous, non-stop? You can be angry. 24 hours. Any takers? Non-stop, stressful,
Well,
anger.
I will not even take for 1 hour. Thank you.
Okay, I'm sure you're going to take for 10 minutes, continuous,
No.
non-stop. 10 minutes? No? Okay, let's see this then. Okay, I'm a genie with all powers, and I'm going to give you 1 full year of continuous happiness, non-stop. Any takers? Any takers?
Of course.
Yeah, great. So why do you think we can do that? We don't probably realize that, when we say, no, anger is normal, stress is normal, you know, uh, all these are normal. You need to live with them, need them in your daily lives. But I don't think so. There are no takers like we just saw. So we just see all these are just we are trying to explore, right? We're just trying to express our views and share our views and explore. So I just wanted to, keep these things in mind and really churn upon it, ponder upon them and try to. I think we have some disturbance. Satish, can we see if somebody can be muted? Yeah, I think, yeah, that's fine. So, whenever you have time, just think over these, whatever we just discussed, All right, now moving on. Now we're getting into an activity, all right? This is a very brief activity. And what we're going to do here is put you guys into, Satish, since we are only 12 of us, do you think we need to go into groups?
I think better we can have it in the main platform so that.
All right, so let's not
Yeah.
put them into breakout rooms, all right? Great. So, we have this activity that goes something like this, explore, express, and exchange. So we're going to give you 3 questions over here. Take some time to really think over these 3 questions. Let me just read them. The first question that I would want you to really reflect on is, what are the things you most love about yourself? Since we are talking about nurturing self-love, it's just not a question that you need to answer it. I want you to really take a moment, just pause, relax. You could close your eyes and just think over it. What are the things that you most love about yourself, right? The second question, what are the things, if at all, what are the things, anything that you don't like so much about yourself? Are there anything that you don't like about yourself? The second question, again, what I'm asking you to do here is just think over it, right? Reflect on it. And the third and most important question, take your time and ask yourself, what are the feelings that you're experiencing right now? What feelings are you experiencing when you think of the things that you love about yourself? Also, what are you experiencing in terms of feelings when you think about the things that you probably don't like so much about yourself? Certain weaknesses that you think you have, and when you think of them, how do you feel? And when you think of your abilities, your skills, your the good values that are there within you, when you think of them, how do you feel? And when you think of the other thing, how do you feel? So we're going to give, say, 10 minutes for this self-reflection. All right, is that okay? Is 10 minutes fine? All right. So I think we can start this. Was that clear? Did everybody hear? I mean, I'm just checking.
Yes, that's completely clear.
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect. So I'm just going to leave the questions on the screen, and let me just give you some music. How about some good music? It's gonna help you reflect. So we have 10 minutes to do this.
Will you put back the question again on the screen?
Sure. I can do that. Yeah. Do you have the questions now on the screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Right. All right. Great. So let's hear some of the experiences that you just had whilst doing this activity. Something in the chat here. Okay. I'm going to quickly stop sharing the screen. And again, a request, if we can see your beautiful faces, it'll be great. So can somebody share something about this activity that what did you feel? Or do you want to share what your good qualities? Probably we would love to know how you feel when you think about, you know, the things that you love about yourself, and also how you feel, you know, when you think about certain weaknesses that you think you may have. Yeah. Come on, guys. Let's do this. Murtaza, do you want to share something?
Yeah, Krishna.
Yes.
Uh, I generally get very less time to analyze myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I would like to thank you for giving this opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So, for the first question, like, what are the good qualities? So, I would say that the perfection, like, I always want to do my work with perfection, whether the time involved is a bit more than that. Then I have a quality of never giving up on a task, and also I feel that I am of a helping nature.
Wonderful.
But
Absolutely.
but as you say that every coin has two sides,
Mm-hmm.
so the bad quality that I would see in myself is angerness, overthinking, uh, fear, fear of failure,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, and the feeling that I get with my good qualities are like I feel great, satisfied about what I do. I feel peace inside me when I am of any help to others, and maybe due to my bad qualities, it would be like guilty or sad inside me. I would feel restless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, great, great. Thanks for sharing. Who else would want to share? Yeah, guys, don't worry. You know, we are not going to judge anyone over here. I can quickly,
Yeah,
please, Satish.
I'll quickly share. For me, when I reflect on my good qualities, so it's kind of accepting myself, feeling good about myself, and creating a positive vibes within me. And it's really inspired to be who I am, like that. But when I think about something which I don't like about myself, especially, so it's kind of a rejecting me. I'm not accepting me because this is kind of disturb. It's first disturb me, then it's also disturb others in a relationship, in anything. So yeah, so I could feel that when I reflect on this quality, which is not good, not so good. I feel that yes, using this positive energy more and more, and less attention to negative energy, I can transform. And when I have that positive energy within myself, then I will be able to overcome some of the emotions, some of the things which I am showing off can be diluted, and the negative power can be reduced. This is what my reflection on this.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. We can take just one more sharing. Somebody. Anyone? Yeah. Yeah. Let's take both of yours. Sangeeta, why don't you go first quickly?
Okay. What I have observed with myself is that the core virtues of something that I should have, I think I have everything, and it comes in different situations or moments in life. The only thing I feel is it's not consistent. So that's what I feel is my weakness. I have to work on it, and it should come consistently. Those virtues, the qualities.
Very nice. Yeah, Prakash, you were saying something.
Yeah, thank you. For me, I just had this realization and thought that there are not a few things I like of myself. It's a complete acceptance. And when there's a full acceptance, then there's nothing that I don't like about myself, and there's nothing that I like about myself. I just am who I am, and I'm accepting myself. There's a total embracing of that. But definitely, there are areas I like to improve. Like I want to get rid of wastage because I feel I don't realize the power that is there in me at times, and it's that space that I can slip into from time to time of being unaware. And so that's where I wish to develop further on. But there's not something I don't like. It's just another better way of me to be than what I am currently in the existential space. So that's how I would look at myself. Thank you.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah. Great, great. Yeah, you know. So just before getting to the session, I had certain, yeah, some tickly feelings in my tummy, how it would go. So, but now I'm okay. So, thinking about, doubting yourself, how do I feel that? And when things, when you know that, things are going to be all right, when you believe in yourself, how do you feel? You feel at ease. So that's my point. And all right, I think it's time for the big man. So let me introduce and welcome Dan. Dan, one second, I'm just gonna, yeah. So Dan, thank you for joining all the way from Australia. I've known Dan for many years now. To tell you something about Dan, Dan is, Dan is a lawyer by profession. He had been practicing in the Supreme Court of Victoria in Australia. Dan has worked with one of the largest community legal centers in Australia, which is a non-profit organization committed to providing free legal services to some of the most vulnerable and disadvantaged people in Melbourne. Dan is also, which is very interesting, Dan is also a White Ribbon Ambassador. What is that? White Ribbon campaign in Australia is one second. So it is a global movement of men and boys. Very interesting, okay? Men and boys, global movement of men and boys working to end male violence against women and girls. How beautiful. Yeah, so Dan is a white ambassador of that. And for the last several years, Dan has been completely, has dedicated himself in teaching and practicing meditation to people. So Dan, we'd like to hear from you now. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Krishna. And it's nice to have been online with all of you in advance of the call, because then, all the tickly feelings were just for Krishna, and I get to come in when it's all nice and settled, and we feel like we already know each other. Thanks for the lofty introduction. Introductions are always interesting things in life. It's an interesting topic. I'm not sure it's something I've personally reflected that much about until this talk. And I think depending on how much you guys have already been into your meditation practices and understanding some of the preliminary aspects might already be quite straightforward for you. So forgive me if that's the case. But I was reflecting that for me, the primary thing is connected to identity, because as we identify ourselves, so our love will flow in a certain direction. And, in the spiritual class that I was studying this morning, and there was a quote that those with non-loving intellects or with a non-loving consciousness will be led to their own demise or destruction or self-harm. And those with loving intellects will always be victorious or successful. And I feel it's because this is to do with the way we direct our love. But understanding ourselves and consciousness is paramount. And this is why, for me, the meditation is also paramount, because it's through meditation that I really reconfigure the way I understand myself. We live in a world where we will be highly programmed to understand ourselves in a certain way. Culture, media, advertising, these will drive a certain self-understanding that I would say is a false self-understanding. And then based on that false self-understanding, we actually turn love, the sweetness of love, into poison. The same thing that can be the most beautiful thing, to feel loved and to feel the love of others and to also express or share love for others, can become toxic. Because actually we love that which we shouldn't love and we dislike that which we should love. And it's not, I don't think, like on purpose, but like I said, it's to do with the way we understand ourselves. And when I understand myself as a bodily being, that I'm identified solely just as this physical form that I occupy, then that will really screw up my love, basically. For one thing, it creates or breeds selfishness in my love. And the nature of love is that actually it's to give, to uplift, to free myself, to free others. True love, pure love, is such a liberating exchange of feelings between beings. But perhaps all of us can relate as well, where, someone's love, so-called love, in quotation marks love, can also make us feel like we're being put in jail or held or controlled or sorry if my according to the changes of the weather here, I can see that, at least according to the way it seems to me, my screen is getting dark because the positioning of the sun.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, the sun is going to set here. I'm not sure what will happen if that takes place. I might disappear into darkness. I'm not sure if that's a great metaphor for a talk on love. So, for example, that bodily identification, love starts to transform into attachment. And attachment is like a form of love that hurts and controls. It's like the love has been corrupted. And in that sense, it's like the non-loving intellect will be led to destruction, because I'll hurt myself and I'll hurt those around me. But when we don't have much self-awareness, my experience is that when we check ourselves, when we think about how we're feeling, I feel I'm in love, or I feel this is a loving thing, actually we can deceive ourselves because we misidentify our own emotions. Actually, we misidentify attachment as love. So we think that it's love to do various things, but actually it's coming from a space inside of attachment. Unless there's really deep honesty and deep self-awareness about who my real self is, then this corruption, in a sense, is a natural process that I will poison my love, and then the thing which is supposed to uplift me and bring so much happiness to my life can also be the thing which brings me a lot of pain and sorrow. And then we can end up thinking like, looking harder and harder for love. I must find a way to love myself. I must have loving relationships with other people. We feel like, because that thing is getting further away from us, and so we're chasing it more and more strongly. But unless the shift in my consciousness happens, then the harder I chase it, the more it will run. It's like true love has become my shadow and self-love has become my shadow. And you know, when you try and catch your shadow, no matter how fast you run, right, it's always one step ahead of you. And so we don't want to have self-love to be like our shadow, but to come into that space of self-love, the key word I think is self, not so much love, because if I'm loving myself just based on my external form, but that will change over time, you know. I may think that I'm fantastic and beautiful now, and I have a sense of my own self-value based on my external appearance, but it's guaranteed that at some point, you know, you will have gray hair, maybe, you know, a bit more tummy fat, and all the other collections, you know, hair drops out, etc., etc. Now, if I love myself based on my appearance, then that natural physical transition process will actually challenge my love for myself, because I will resist it, and I will spend, you know, $1 million on cosmetic surgery to try and maintain the value I have for myself externally. And you can see in the world that there's so many industries built around the perversion of self-love. We are regularly told that to love ourselves means a whole heap of very superficial things, and those things will actually lead us even further and further away from real love. Because the more we go down the track of fake self-love, the more you go down it, the more you go down it. And you have to sort of then at some point try and unwind that to get back to the real self, so that you can love yourself in an authentic way, or love who you really are. Because there's a part of our being which is eternal and not identifiable with the things which are temporary in this world. And when I start to connect into that part of myself through meditation, it changes the game in terms of not only self-love, but love for others as well. But until I come out of the old game, I'll be stuck in it. And so this is why I would really encourage and advocate for individuals to practice some type of meditation to create some deeper inner realization about who they are. Because otherwise I don't see a space that our global culture creates for really nurturing self-awareness. That if I think that I will come to know myself just through relationships with other people, I'm kidding myself, I'm deceiving myself. Yes, other people definitely provide valuable feedback and help steer me and guide me and correct me. And people can see me in a way that I can't see myself, because, you know, when Satish looks at me, he sees me from that position and it's not the way I see myself. So he might share something he sees and it's very insightful for me. So it's like, oh, great, thank you for sharing that, Satish, because I learned something about myself. But actually, I can have the same practice when I sit with myself, and I'm not distracted or affected or involved with other people, because I become the observer of myself and learn about how I operate, how I work. But if I'm all the time rushing, running, doing, driven externally by the things with my sense organs, then I never actually form that internal connection with myself. And I stay in an externally focused and driven world dictated by my senses. And also I'll be then vulnerable to be controlled by media and culture and the propaganda of the world. And, you know, people think that, yes, in America, everyone is free. Maybe we can't use the example of America anymore, no, because that poor country has embarrassed itself globally. But you can choose any country. But if you look at how we are and what we do, we're so free that we all happen to buy the same pants, wear the same makeup, you know, go after the same hairstyles. I mean, really? We think we're so free, right? Actually, we're so influenced. We're so heavily influenced, and we're looking at life in like a fishbowl, and thinking that swimming around in that bowl is freedom. But actually, this is just me kidding myself, and not necessarily acknowledging how deep the influences of life can be around us. So I really see that when we go inside, we're finding a space which is beyond all of those external things. And that is the space where also I can really nurture self-love, because I start to love who I really am. And I start to identify that some of the things which I might have thought were self-esteem were actually what we call ego. And you've probably all heard about the term ego before, which is basically where we hold on to or love a false image of ourselves. And it doesn't have to be an image in the sense that it's a externally visible or presented thing. If I do that, does it help the...
It's okay, Dan. I think that's fine.
Yeah, look at that. It changes. You can actually, I can see at least for me, it changes it.
Well, that's okay. I mean, even if there's a reflection, that's a good flare. Yeah.
But it's a bit of a strange image, right?
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
If you
can probably turn your laptop a little bit.
I think there's actually something I can adjust. If you can just forgive me for 1 second for that. Well, anyway, we'll go with what we've got.
Yeah.
So the corruption of our self-love and finding this space inside where we can really connect to our character. And one of the things I love about this group that you have each month is this topic of a virtue cafe, because really the positive qualities emerge or create an opportunity for really a deeper understanding of loving myself and loving others, because our character is the thing which really goes with us throughout the whole journey in life, right? And the good qualities that I accumulate in myself and my capacity to share good qualities with those around me creates an environment of love. When I can see and learn all the different ways to identify good qualities in people, it creates like an active vocabulary of love itself, that, you know, the people I'm with, I'm around, I'm just seeing all the different ways that they're contributing positive qualities and virtues into their environment. And it also emerges or brings that in me as well. You know, generally if someone says, you know, that I've got so many people with so much ego all around me, actually it probably reflects more on their story about themselves. They're poisoning their self-love by seeing all those negative tendencies in others, and that creates a very sort of non-loving or unloving environment to be in. And there's, you know, the ego is one of the main ways, along with attachment, that we poison self-love. One of the other things which was in the class that we were reading here in Australia this morning was also focused on ego. And in that class, it was talking about how on this world stage, all of us are like a hero actor. In the drama of our own life, each one is an actor, and all of us are unique. And I feel that the greatest act of self-love is to stand in my uniqueness, because our culture is to compare ourselves with other people, to seek validation, approval, and to even define who I am based on other people. And I feel this is really damaging to self-esteem and self-love, because each of us is incomparable. That is the beautiful value of a human being, is that they are unique. no, none are, equality is such a thing that, I love equality in terms of a value for how we want to treat people. We want to treat people equally, that there's a fairness, but I don't want to use that same value of equality to destroy love for myself and love for others. That we're all the same, that we homogenize, make everything the same, because that really kills love. So stepping into a sense that we're all unique actors on this stage. We've all got our own part to play, and each one has a right to be who they are. They have a valid part to play. Each one is a worthy child of God if people believe in a higher being, and they're valuable in their own right. That's their intrinsic nature. And so I have to also feel in myself respect and love for other living beings, because they have a right to that. But when it's a comparison based mechanism, then we keep on checking. Like, if someone says something nice about us, we may undermine that or doubt that it's not about me. But actually, we have to also accept the appreciation and love that others have for us. Otherwise, for me, that was always one of the big mirrors for my self-love, is if someone says, Krishna, you really hosted that beautifully tonight, even when there are little stumbles, you kept it flowing, it's great, you're very mature, have a nice voice for presenting things, it's a good flow, and the presentation on self-love was beautiful. And how sometimes if someone says that, then we go, it wasn't, for this reason, it wasn't like that. We can't just sort of take it in and go, thank you. That's it, and leave it like that. It's like the love was there, but we find some way to deflect the love. It was this person, this happened, it wasn't me, or no, it went terribly. All of these little internal things could come up that would interfere with our self-love. So they're a checking point, actually, is I can check myself over the next week. If people share a point of appreciation, can I just accept it? Can I just accept it? It's fine. Or do I become aware that there's something inside of me that doesn't want to take on board positive feedback? Because that positive feedback is like a love energy that is coming to us. And if there isn't self-love, there will be a natural tendency to want to reject or push that away. Whereas actually also when people share love, if we just accept it, they also feel happy, like how beautiful was Pippa's contribution tonight, very thoughtful, very sweet, very wise. She's just come in this and she's sharing such great things. So it's awesome. We just recognize all these things and appreciate about each other. And then it creates that atmosphere of love in the group as well, that, these good things are happening and being shared. The other poison connected to comparison in terms of self-love, where there's comparison, then jealousy also comes. And jealousy really poisons love. Say, for example, like love itself, say me and Satish have a lot of love for each other, and say then Krishna is feeling like, why am I not getting that love? So if it was a very serious situation, Krishna could even start to like hate Satish or hate me, that they have so much love between each other and I'm not getting this love. I hate them, or I hate one of them if he feels. So love is there, love itself is there, but it's leading to hatred. How can, love, we want more love in the world, right? And yet sometimes when we see love, because of our own internal things, we may actually be pushed into negative emotions. So self-awareness is so important, because we need to bring ourselves in and check, is, why would I be creating that kind of energy or vibration? What is it in me that is missing something and needs more love and care, so that I don't, create negative emotions and negative feelings about something positive. If there's love between two people and I'm creating bad vibrations, what's wrong? I should also be happy about that love. These were the main things I had in mind on the topic of self-love. But and I also want to have time for questions and meditation. So if people want to ask questions or make comments as well, you're more than welcome to share your own thoughts or experience about self-love. It's fun to exchange ideas and bounce off each other as well. So I sort of open it up to the group a bit. Mm-hmm.
Wow, thanks, Dan. Really deep and profound points there on self-love, on the true identity of the self as well. Yeah, I'm sure many of us have some questions, and it'll be great to know how you would like to. Anybody that would want to ask Dan some questions?
Yeah, I have something to reflect on Dan's speech or
Sure,
giving wisdom. Actually, it's very interesting. Thank you very much, Dan. I'm so grateful I was able to enroll in this presentation, and I was able to relate very much when you mentioned for Krishna, you did great presentation, and his response, imaginary response, like, no, it went okay. Na, na, na. I remember when I first used to someone compliment me and say, "Oh, Heba, you look nice. This is nice dress," or "You look good today." And like, no, it's an old dress. No, it's not that sexy. No, I'm not that good looking. Actually, I'm a little bit fat today. And like, I used to push back the compliment. I never took it, enjoy it. Until later on in my life, I watched, look, it started this way. I watched a movie where there was this person who's misfortune in every sense. And when someone was giving him some blessings to rectify his life and just enjoy it, and he refused it, this lady told him, accept the good. And that was, this the bulb on top of my head, like, why not I'm having the same behavior? Why not I'm accepting the good? Even if it's a compliment to break ice or like to flatter or whatever the reason behind it, I am doing good. I'm exerting the best effort I have to look good, to work good, to produce everything in a good manner. So why not to accept it? In a nutshell, just reflecting on your all giving wisdom again, it's the fact that I understand that I am work in progress, and the self-love itself, it's work in progress. I need to first be in assurance and in alignment with myself that I am pure love, and it's not an immediate result of like I'm a touching magic wand that I'm going to be angelic in every sense in the moment. I need to know and accept myself in every sense, in the matter of um, always reflecting on my behaviors, always be mindful with my activities and my like behaviors again. So like, this is how I know that I am a work in progress. I'm in the pipeline towards the end results of being fully enlightened and fully pure angel, if I can say that. It's a long journey, and it's not right now that I'm going to be pure, but it's a shower after another, a meditation after another, a meeting with like people like you after another, that would allow me eventually to unfold the layers of, I don't want to say negativity, but like the acquired, conditioned behaviors that we collected all over our journey in the life. We've been like roughly an average 25 years in this world, if I look in the group. So in average, we are collecting all these vibrations, all these behaviors from our friends, family, teachers, colleagues. So it's a matter of another, some hopefully not long time, to get rid of the bad things and to hold into the positive things. So the main point for me is accepting that it's a journey and it's not an immediate waiting for results thing. And thank you very much. I really appreciate your help and effort.
It's great. You're going to become a pure angel, Pippa. It's a fantastic name.
Thank you very much.
Where did you pick that up from?
Peppa? Or what?
The aim. I don't often hear people say that, so I'm just curious as to.
It's a nickname, actually. My name is Hiba, and it's in Arabic means a gift. So I like Pippa every now and then, and I go for Hippo every now and then. So yeah.
I was thinking, the aim of being a perfect angel. I don't often hear people express that ambition in their life. That you said this was what your aim was. So I was wondering where that thought came from.
I will tell you something. I originally believed that I am an angel. The thing is, I believe I am a pure soul. I am related to the God, to the supreme soul, to the one and only in a way or another. So I don't believe that I'm a creation that's lacking anything. I was about to argue with Krishna and his first slide in the presentation about the negatives, and we have negative sides and stuff like that. But I thought to save it to myself. But the thing is, to be honest, I don't believe that I have negatives. I have characteristics that it's me to accept. I'm not a killer. I'm not a thief. These are, I would say, yes, absolutely dark things that I want to fight. But it's all about, I know I have things that not everybody will accept. And if I have something that I cannot myself accept, I'd like to work on. But it's not negatives or shortcomings. I believe that I am complete the way I am with the work and the focus I'm putting into myself, with the work in progress piece of art. This is how I like to really think about myself. I'm not just a regular, like another piece, like another anybody else. I know I am very unique, outstanding creation. And it's a matter of time until I just get rid of all the conditioned behaviors, beliefs that I collected in my life, and get back again to my angelic state.
Fantastic.
I hope it's not very much artistic or cheesy.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah.
No,
Wonderful.
not cheesy. I haven't heard it that much myself, so it's great that there's people who are thinking and feeling that way in the world. If everyone had that aim, I think it would change the world overnight.
Not overnight again, it's a work in progress journey.
No, but I mean, if we could give everyone that aim in their mind overnight, like if you could sneak it in there, it would change the world. Because a lot of people don't aim for even that much self-improvement, right? So if people don't even aim for it, they'll certainly never reach it. At least it's a very clear target in mind. Does anyone else want to share anything?
Yes.
Or ask
some more questions. We can definitely take some more questions. Anyone?
He was come back from his swim, so he might have a question from having, been to the pool.
No, I was out of the. I had some network issues. Sorry. Yeah. But after you're done,
then I have a question or two. I'm just going to ask both. You can choose to answer both or either one of them. So the first one is, we spoke about self-love, right? So how do you sustain, how Pippa was telling, it's not that always we're going to be in that stage. It's going to be fluctuating. How do you really, try and make some effort to sustain the self-love? That's one. The other question is, I believe there's this very thin, at least till we get there, there's this thin line between self-love and being selfish. How do we really know that we are not being selfish, and this is unconditional love for myself and others? And how do you really understand or be in that awareness? Yes. So yeah.
Very good questions, Krishna. Where did you get those from?
I just did my homework, Dan, because I didn't want to leave you just like that.
Yeah. With the second question, I completely agree with you that there is a very fine line between self-love and selfishness. And it's part of the challenge, I think, on the journey of self-love is that as long as we're externally referenced and externally identified, then we can think of self-love in the sense of self-indulgence, or just I'm taking care of myself, but actually I might just be wasting my time on something fruitless. Whereas for me, selflessness is where there is like a genuine attempt and act of giving in a way that I want to benefit others. That is selfless, and as opposed to selfish. I do have to take care of myself. I think it was Pippa who used the metaphor at the start of, I have to fill my own cup first, and yeah, totally agree on that. But I also need to make sure that I do pour my cup to others. If I spend all my time filling my own cup, and it never gets full, then really I need to check what's up with my cup. And what I'll find is when I check my cup, it's going to be wholly in the wrong way. Not wholly in the sense of that perfect angel, but wholly in the sense that it will be leaking. And some of those leaks are going to be the ways my love is stuck in wrong places. So my love is stuck on trying to control someone else's behavior, or my love is stuck in my egoistic self where I'm criticizing others. If I'm highly critical of others, then actually people feel those vibrations, conscious or not. It may not be that they're consciously acting towards those vibrations, but they will feel like they don't want to be close to me or near to me, and that I will feel like I've got a little bit of a disease, or I have a bad smell or something. In the class we were reading here this morning, it talked about the bad odor of body consciousness. That if we're soul conscious, it creates like a sweet spiritual energy that's like an aura around us, whereas in body consciousness it creates a stink, and that will repel people. So some of the key stinks is critical nature. It's good to have awareness about other people and awareness about myself, but when it gets into just being critical, or I need to share everyone else's faults with other people, really it creates such an atmosphere that I won't feel love or connection with other people. And I may not even be conscious sometimes how that we say personality trait is pushing love and pushing other people out of my life. And I just sort of, get left feeling emptier and emptier, and not knowing. Actually, that was my main personality trait before I got into meditation. I think it was, the education, right? Also studying law, trying to learn how to rip someone's case apart, and studying a bit of philosophy. I just learned how to be critical about everything. And then that same attribute got, put onto my relationships with other people. And yeah, I felt like there's probably some reason that people avoid me. And eventually, with a bit of meditation, I thought, man, I'm seriously a critical guy. I'm just, you ask me anyone's faults, I can give you like a huge list of their faults. If you ask me what their good points are, I can hardly scratch for one thing. It's like, it became a real mirror for me where my emphasis was, my attention was totally into the critical side, and it killed relationships, pushes people away, and you sort of end up on the outside of things. So yeah, this was from that fine line between selfishness and self-love, and that we have to check where, if our cup isn't getting full, then we need to really look inside and check the different ways that I'm letting that leak out, so that I do have my cup full, so that I've got something to give. Otherwise, I do just stay stuck in selfishness, and my cup never fills up, and I never really give anything. And I feel like I always need to give myself more love and more love. Actually, it's like I'm dying inside because I can't fill the cup. Then can you repeat the first question then, Krishna?
Yeah, how do you sustain self-love? How do you sustain self-love?
Sustaining self-love. I think it's to do with sustaining a good self-awareness. That for me, my meditation practice, especially morning and night, to maintain the consciousness that what we often talk about as soul consciousness, the awareness that we are spiritual beings inside these physical bodies, that creates a switch that goes off in my head because I find that I default into body consciousness, and I need to keep on pushing that button or that switch again, that no, I'm a spiritual being and I'm going to look at others as a spiritual being. It takes my consciousness up from that limited physical awareness to identify others as spirit. I mean, if people prefer the word consciousness or soul, it's, for me, it's the same thing. Spirit, consciousness, soul, that energy which is who we are, which when someone passes away, you can feel that energy is gone. It's not in their body anymore, because it holds the energy and the character which has love and which can experience and exchange love. Because just, like a human body is only going to love me as much as a chair or a car. A car doesn't have love to express. A chair doesn't have love to express. And actually a dead body also doesn't have love to express. Yeah, if someone is just, the soul has gone, that perfect angel is gone and just the corpse is there, there's no love in that corpse, right? We may have become attached to the physicality because we didn't really know who we were loving, because we thought they were a body, so we thought we loved the body, and then we so disturbed because of the condition of the body. But that's just something that's come out of ignorance. So to sustain self-love, we need to come out of that very limited consciousness towards myself as a bodily being. Otherwise, it's like an endless pit that I'll never satisfy. To have self-love for my body, I won't feel loved or nurtured based on my bodily awareness. Actually, we crave stimulation, entertainment, and blocking out our own consciousness in that type of mentality, because inside we feel an inherent discomfort because we haven't really connected to ourselves. And so then it's like, we don't like silence. We don't like being alone. We always need to be in someone's company. We need to keep ourselves entertained. We're afraid of having spare time, and we're fearful of being bored. Anything that would actually start to force me to reconnect with myself, I become allergic to that. And we probably all know a few people in our workplaces and stuff who are like heavily addicted to keeping overstimulated, because the idea of nurturing self-love is very uncomfortable for them. And so they keep themselves distracted or away from that. Okay, hope that is an adequate answer to your question.
Absolutely, absolutely wonderful. Any last question from Reena or Murtaza? Murtaza, do you have any questions? Anything at all that you would want to just share or ask?
No, Krishna. I was just peacefully listening to what Dan said. Maybe the next time I'll come up with some questions.
No worries.
Great. Yeah. Great. Nice. Awesome. So, Dan, we spoke a lot about trying to connect with the self, the true self. Do you mind taking us through a small meditative experience where we could probably try and experience that?
Krishna, just to give me a ballpark on the time frame, are you able to? Are people okay for like 8 minutes or something like that?
Say another 5 minutes of meditation, and then we can. That's cool.
Are you happy to play some of your soothing music in the background as well?
Was it audible before? I don't know.
Yeah, for me it was audible.
Yeah, and let me just try that again.
It can be quite quiet. Otherwise, I'll have to shout over it.
Is this okay? Is this okay? the sound?
It needs to be louder.
Would you like to share the computer sound?
Yeah, 1 second.
yeah.
1 second.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So do I have to share the screen for that, Satish? Okay, 1 second. Okay, I think we should be able to hear the sound now. Are you able to hear the music?
Yeah, it's good for me. So now I'm going to take some time to meditate, to go inside myself, to connect to my original love, the pure love of I, the spiritual being, the living and loving energy inside this physical body. But first, I just become aware of the body, and I'm going to relax the body and let go of any tension or tightness I'm holding in my physical body. Letting go of the shoulders, letting them drop down and relax. Letting go of the stomach and the chest and allowing myself to breathe in a more easy way. I just become aware of those parts of the body and let them go. With every breath in, I imagine or visualize that I'm breathing in the energy of love. I imagine like I'm in an energy of light and that I can breathe that light into my lungs. It's a light and it's a love. I'm breathing that love in. When I breathe out, I'm letting go of any old feeling, any disagreement with that, any dislike, and replacing it with love. When I breathe in, I'm breathing in love. And I create the positive thought for myself that I am a being of love. I nurture this thought in my mind that I am a loving being. It is my nature to love myself and express love for others. I bring my attention to the center of my forehead, and I'm going to use a technique visualizing as if there's a star of light shining at the center of my forehead, just inside the forehead. I picture this beautiful star of light energy shining here. And when I visualize this tiny star of light shining, it brings peace and relaxation in my mind. This being is a being of love. an energy of love. I create the determined thought that as I go into my life and about my day, I'm going to choose to focus on thoughts of love. Love for myself and love for others. I'm just observing my own mind and checking the thoughts that are coming through my mind. And I choose to focus on thoughts of love, to let go of anything that's distracting me from my love for myself and others. Now I think we bring our awareness back to our Zoom room, and you will have to go about your days there in Dubai. So thank you very much for joining the session.
Wow. Thank you, Dan. I really didn't want to come out of that experience. It was wonderful. Thank you to all the participants as well. So I'm just going to quickly summarize because we have gathered some very beautiful points, and if you can just yeah, if you're able to see my screen, we had some good points. Know that you are true love. Just going to give you a small story. From it's a mythological story from India. There's this character called Hanuman in many parts of the world, and in India, they consider Hanuman as a deity. Well, Hanuman had a gift of he could fly like Superman, but somebody cursed him, saying that you will forget your ability, you will forget that you can fly until somebody comes and reminds you that. So he grows up, without knowing his own strengths, his own ability. And when one day he meets somebody, and that person reminds him that, you know what, you are Pavan Putra. Pavan Putra means the son of wind or air, and you can fly. And that very moment he starts flying. So it's like, you come to know about your own true nature, that, hey, you are true love, uh, you are true happiness. And from that moment, if you can really start uh, living that, realizing that, nurturing that love in you, knowing the fact that I myself am true love. So, you're like, gaining back that powers that you didn't know was there within you all the time. Another good point is what Dan said, was realize that you are very unique. Uh, Self-love is being in that uniqueness. Very beautiful point. Jealousy poisons true love. That's another good point. What Pippa shared, beautiful point. Fill your own cup first, and also fill the cup of others. Also, Dan added, check for holes and leaks, as in, like, make sure that you don't slip into uh, your false identity. You're trying to connect with your true self, but somewhere down the way when you're trying to do that, don't connect with your false identity as well. So that's a good point. Sustain the self-awareness equals to sustaining self-love. And most importantly, use some sort of meditation. It could be something as simple as this, or anything that you may be following, to go within and connect with the true self. I think with that, I would like to thank everybody, especially Dan, for joining us all the way from Australia. And there's a time difference as well. And it's a holiday, and many who had promised couldn't join because Friday is the only day off for many of us.